Kaspa holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys know exactly what time it is, so we're not going to waste any more time and get right in today's topic. If you're looking at the overall market, we're seeing a lot of green right now, within the crypto markets, and that is all thanks to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is literally on the verge of breaking towards an all-time high. Yes, you've heard that correct. If you're looking across the market, Bitcoin is driving, the broader market up with it. Yes, a few handful coins still kind of seeing a retracement, but, Caspa is one of the coins that's still up about 1.7%, showing significant amount of strength, something we've been discussing, day in, day out for Caspa. If you're looking at the price of Caspa right now, 11.23 cents, up 0.4% in the Bitcoin comparative. Nothing too crazy on the Bitcoin comparative side of things, but still, we cannot forget that, it is one of the coins that is still, holding on, despite the fact that, we're still seeing extensive, strength on the Bitcoin dominant side. If you're looking at the valuation, it's creeping up to that $3 billion slowly but surely. And look at the 24-hour trading volume of for Caspa. It's at 100 million. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's nothing. But, in Caspa standards, it is a big deal, especially the fact that we did see an increase in the 24-hour trading volume compared to yesterday. We were sitting about 75 million, if I'm not mistaken, and right now we are at 100+ million. Always, got to point that out. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So here we have it, the dominance, picking up a lot of steam. We know about this. We actually went up to 64.16% a few different times over the last few hours, and of course we got rejected at that range. But in a grand scheme of things, there is a big shift in the dominance over the course of the last few days, and this is not a small move, guys, by any means, because let's say let's say the dominance was still sitting at about 61.8%. I think we would have seen altcoins up much more, especially where Bitcoin is currently sitting, if you take that into consideration. But that's not the case right now, of course. But altcoins still reacting in a positive way to this Bitcoin move, but not seeing those explosive moves that we did see over the course of the last few weeks. But if you're looking at BTC, Bitcoin, as I stated in my community post, if you did end up seeing that, or if you are familiar with BTC, Bitcoin saw the largest daily candle close the history of Bitcoin, and we are on the verge of heading towards an all-time high. It's literally at a 1.8% move from where we currently are, and then we retest an all-time high. So Bitcoin's looking amazing right now, and I do expect a new our previous all-time high to be retested sometime this week, based off of what we're looking at. But if you're looking at Caspa, Caspa has done it, guys. Caspa has done what we were speaking about yesterday. We spoke about the importance of this key resistance, and it's nothing new about this key resistance. I've been speaking to you about this over the course of the last few months, and we actually broke out of that key range, with the Bitcoin momentum. Loving this, and the fact that we're back above this key level, this just really opens the door for us, push up to the key levels that we actually haven't been above since January 22nd of this year. So obviously that can kind of give you a better understanding how important that range is. But look at this daily time frame. Look at this upward trajectory, higher highs, higher low, a very, very nice upward trajectory forming. And pretty much, guys, the 78.6 retest is not an unrealistic target to be looking out for, especially if we knock out of this resistance. And I think, as we are starting to see the setup playing out, that would realistically be the major next target after us breaking out of this key level. If you want to put this into perspective, that itself is a move of about 36.2%. And, with the valuation about 3 billion in a grand scheme of things, with the way the bull market is moving, with the amount of capital that's flowing into the crypto markets, $3 billion is not a large amount to, be getting completely shocked at. Because there's a lot of other coins that are multi-billion. So of course projects like Caspa can move up very quick, but at the same time with the low amount of liquidity, with the lack of a lot of exchange listings, it can also be manipulated. Speaking about manipulation, I really want you guys to take a look at the history of Caspa. It's seen major swings, And what makes us think that this can happen again? If you think this can happen again, I really hope you're looking at it from a realistic standpoint. But the fact that we're back above this key resistance, I'm definitely targeting the 78.6 as the major key level. But right now we need to break out of the 13.4 cents, which would mark it for the first time since the beginning of the year for us to break out. And I think that is the next target with the way things are really looking right now. So far, so good. Like what I'm seeing here, pretty much after the 78.6, I think things really start heating up and could head towards all-time highs. But as of now, we really want to focus on this 13.6 cents target before we start talking about some of these other targets. But this is how I'm taking a look at as to what I expect. I do personally project that we might see once again, if we were to retest this key resistance, a little bit of a rejection, but if the volume and the Bitcoin momentum is on our side, I do personally believe that push is in play. But let me know down below what you guys think. Love you all. See you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.